Hello my friends, thanks so much for being here for this video. I am still working off of the requests when I asked, are there any makeup brands I'm missing out on? Even though in that particular video, I felt like I was able to feature a lot of things you guys were recommending to me, there are still things where it was like, oh yeah, I need to do that. And there were some orders I needed to make that took a little bit longer, but you guys had some great ideas. And today, what we're gonna look into is the line called SHEGLAM. And that brand is a division of Shein, the website where they have a lot of like affordable clothes and just all sorts of little things. Like I have shopped the clothes on there several times. I've gotten some super good deals on some cute like seasonal stuff, Christmas sweatshirts, different things. But it never really occurred to me that they had a makeup line. And once I started looking through that, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't think I paid over $10, if not $8 for anything here. And yes, it's all been Ziploc bagged. That's when you know it's getting serious. I got a full face of stuff, you guys. Now I have not used it at all. It's a really rare video when it's all gonna just kind of blindside me, but I thought maybe it might be entertaining just to kind of work with some things as they come. I really have no preconceived notions because I haven't watched other people's videos on this brand at all. So it's just gonna be a really brand new experience, and I thought there aren't a lot of times where I give that here on my channel, so I'll do that today. So what I can tell you about this stuff so far is, you know, I went through and I felt like there was a lot of selection on the website, tons of different things to choose from. And then when it arrived here, while it was in one of those like kind of bags with a lot of bubble wrap in it, every individual thing was wrapped up really well. Anything like palette or powder wise was like had foam all around it. It was super well packaged. And then every individual product was like in its own box that had a plastic wrapping around it. It seemed like almost everything had that. And I just thought that was kind of surprising. So my skin is already prepped with my moisturizer and my sunscreen, and we're gonna jump in with this fancy little thing. This is called the Birthday Skin Primer. I don't know why, but I'm expecting this to like smell like birthday cake or something, but no, it doesn't really smell like anything. It looks like the Tarte primer, or remember Mally Perfect Prep Poreless Primer? You feel like it's gonna be kind of solid, but then actually look at the amount of creaminess here. It's very, very creamy. And I wonder what this is gonna do for the skin. Adding a little moisture, it's not really like slipping across the skin super lightly. As of right now, like on contact, I'm not seeing a difference in pores, but sometimes that can change like once you actually put makeup on top, then you can kind of see what the primer did. But yeah, it doesn't feel incredibly smoothing the way some of those that have a little more glide or a little more mousse-like quality to them. But basically what I feel like I have here is just an extra level of hydration all over the skin. And then for foundation, I chose the Complexion Pro Long Lasting Breathable Matte Foundation. And I gotta say, the packaging is pretty high-end feeling with this one. It's in a frosted glass bottle. When I took it out of the packaging, it was like in its own little like velvet sleeve when I took it out of the box. I got the shade Nude. Let's see how much product we get with a pump. We're doing a pump with just a tiny bit more because the first time just a little extra came out. Okay, dabbing around. Seems like the color is going to be something I can work with. And I'm just going to blend this in with my Beauty Blender. And wow! I can immediately tell that this is going to be really good coverage. I would love to know in the comments section, you know, what specifically from this brand are you interested in? Or what has someone else maybe reviewed that you're like, oh, I'm intrigued by that. Or what have you tried yourself? Let me know. Wow, I can tell that this is a really covering nicely, feeling like some nice even coverage. Because of the primer, I'm sensing like just a little more glow to my skin maybe than this foundation might give me if I used a different primer. But it's pretty thin. The consistency of it was not anything like, we're talking thinner than Maybelline Superstay, and really even coverage. I'm paying attention to like the nose area, and I'm not feeling like there was some poor magic that happened with the primer first. Other than added hydration, I'm not really sure what that did. Maybe it'll help the staying power in the end, but that's the foundation all over, guys, and I'm really liking it. This was one full pump with a teensy bit extra, and I feel really nicely covered. I do think the shade Nude turned out to be good all over my skin, so yay. Now, I'm really disappointed that I think the concealer maybe I can try it around my nose, but I think it's going to be too dark for my under eye. I got the SHEGLAM, oh, here it is, 12-hour full coverage concealer, and I got the shade Coconut Flakes, which seemed to be right on the website, you know, but it just seems kind of dark. Like, yeah, I don't think I want to go in on my under eye with that, but I'll blend it in around some nose redness. It's just too dark. So I'm sorry about that. That seems like, you know, just your standard liquid concealer. I could tell by the texture of it, you know, it wasn't too thick, not too thin. So I'm going to use my e.l.f. Camo Concealer in medium sand and just let that take over for the under eye because it is the proper shade. So a couple of little dots there, a little bit out here. We may brighten right in that zone too. My hands, like I did a ton of cleaning around the house yesterday, and also just through everyday hand washing, my knuckles, the tops of my hands get so dry. And sometimes that doesn't show up until I've slept on it and I get up the next morning, I'm like, wow, dry hands. I need to get down and get some CeraVe moisturizing cream on those puppies. Look how beautiful. I mean, this concealer is so good. And then it's times like this where I'm like, it's a wonder that for as much online makeup shopping as I do, it's a wonder that I do end up with the proper shade most of the time. Need a slightly smaller brush here, nab that inner corner. But we know we love e.l.f. Camo Concealer. This is not the hydrating version, it's just the regular. Absolute perfection, no problem whatsoever. Then, this turned out to be a lot bigger than I thought it was gonna be. This powder here, it's called Insta-Ready Face and Under Eye Setting Powder Duo. And I got it in the shade Bisque. So check this out, that packaging's really pretty. There actually is a fade to the color on here. And you open up the, whoop, oh, that was just the little film. And we have a film to peel, my friends. So this particular duo gives you a translucent powder for your under eye area. And then down below, we have a, you know, slightly more skin tone setting powder. Which, does this have a locking? Man, just knocked my entire mirror off. All I'm trying to do is remove a little plastic film here. Suddenly I have eyelashes stuck to my finger. This is what happens when Em doesn't try the makeup first. Okay, this is very good though. There's a sliding sifter cover, so you can make holes come out over the opening or not. That's good. That's smart packaging design there. So for starters, we're gonna have it twisted on. We're just gonna open this. We've got our translucent powder here. Feels a lot like just your standard kind of semi-silky translucent powder. I'm going to pick some of that up with my small tapered brush and just super lightly set the under eye. And I really like the idea that someone's paying attention to the fact that we might want different powders for different parts of the face, you know, like we might want something lighter on the under eye than what we're wearing all over. But what's kind of funny is that I might, generally speaking, go for a loose powder when I set the under eye and maybe a pressed powder all over, but that's fine. So this powder seems really nice, gentle, mattifying, not too heavy. So now we're going to move on to the other part. And a little bit came out just because that sticker was on it and pulled some out, so I'm just going to be able to brush that off. And I'm just using my BK Beauty 107 here to blend that in all over the rest of my face for setting, which is not a step I would always even do, but I like that I have this option here. Again, packaging design is really nice. You're not going to have that powder sifting out on you at all times if you're traveling with this or whatever. It locks up. I am so matte right now, so matte. That's cool. I really like that. Really neat concept there. Next up, my blush and bronzer are both kind of the same format. This is called the Sun Sculpt Liquid Contour in Golden Sun. And basically, do you guys remember Lancome put out a lip product where it was like, you had this sort of applicator and it was going down into something very liquidy and you would like shake it up and then put it on. So you can hear that this is to be shaken, and then I'm going to get prepared with whatever I want to blend this out with. So I can see that that little applicator is very saturated. Oh gosh, it's always a little bit scary when you use a liquid or cream for the first time. Like, is that going to set immediately? Tone looks decent. It blended in, wow, really well, really quickly. I mean, it feels, because it's liquid, it feels very, very light. I'm trying to sense if there's any shimmer in this. I don't think there is. I'm going to use some as a contour as well, now that I think I can trust it to not like stain my cheeks as it sits there. Ooh, what an easy blend. Like pretty much as easy as it gets because this product is so thin and light. I'm getting surprised here, gang. That's pretty cool. Take whatever's left on my brush and kind of sweep it under the chin. But wow, really nice. Really even. I mean, nothing streaky. Even though I had this fully matte thing going on my skin, right? We had matte foundation. We set it with powder everywhere. It's like this little liquid bronzer didn't care. It's like, I'm not going to cause you any trouble. I'm just going to blend right in. And it looks perfectly even, not patchy. Really cool. Okay. Nice. And then I got the same kind of blush. This is called the Color Bloom Liquid Blush, and I chose the shade Love Cake. I love cake. What's also interesting is on this website, like they'll point out the shades that are going fast, you know? Thought that was gonna be funny. All right. Ooh, I feel like this is gonna be gorgeous. Oh my gosh, I hope this is the same texture that doesn't like set up too quick. Oh. Can you even? That's so pretty. I love the way that's shearing out, you guys. This is where someone's sitting there and thinking, well, she's sponsored on this. No, never. It's just a lot of things are working out right now. Oh my gosh. I love the way that stuff blended in and it didn't leave me sticky, tacky on the surface of the skin, you know? Things just feel smooth. Things feel even. I feel like that shade would be buildable as well if I wanted to go over it for even more, which, you know, by the end of the look we might do. Absolutely great. Now somehow, some way, I did not end up with a highlighter. I guess it just slipped my mind. I think there might be just a teeny bit of glow in that blush though. Like, are you seeing just a little glow on my cheek? I don't think we have to use highlighter every video. We don't have to use it all the time. But what I will use is a little bit of, I think, some setting spray. I have this NYX Plump Finish with electrolytes setting spray. I could use some. Let's try it. It's Monday morning, y'all. Got a couple little visible droplets, probably because my skin was so matte. I'm pleased, you guys, with the complexion. I'm really pleasantly surprised by the foundation and the powder and those liquid products. Really cool. Coffee break. My last of 2 Starbucks Peppermint Mocha K-Cups. Oh, I'm gonna miss that. Okay, I got the liquid eyebrow pencil, which seems to be the exact same shape. I wish I could tell you the color I got. Maybe I can go back and refer to my order info. But it looks to be the exact same shape and cut as the Benefit Brow Microfilling Pen. And it seems like the product is very paste coming out of it, like I'm not getting a huge like rush of liquid, which seems to be the issue with a lot of brow pens. You get too much or you get not enough in maybe a few select cases, but a lot of times it's like it's way, way overboard. And I always felt like the Benefit pen was so good about making it easy, and like you could just graze over your brow and you were just getting the right amount of stuff. And you know, it's tricky with a pen. It's kind of all or nothing, you know? But with these multiple tips, I feel like this is doing a pretty good job too. Let's see, I've tried, what other brands have made these knockoffs? Like L'Oreal did one that I didn't really like. There was another one also. Nothing has been as good as Benefit, maybe until now. Like I'm not really being that careful, you guys. I'm just going over the areas where I might fill in. The color is on point. It's not too warm, as you can see. Okay, let's go to this brow. A lot of ease, not getting flooded with product. The overall thing that might tell the tale is how long then will this last me? You know, will I feel like after a couple weeks of use, will I feel like I'm already running out of this? You know, what will the longevity be like? Because Benefits really is good. Like I'm still using the same fill-in pen that I started with, and I've used it a bunch. So it's lasted me a really long time. So that's one thing I can't comment yet about with this. But what I can say is that I feel like the application is really good. The pen is seeming just a little less juicy on this side right now. Like I'm feeling like I need to go over a few areas just a little bit more. That never happens with the Benefit, so maybe a slight drawback. But again, this was a fraction of the price as well. Overall, I'm really impressed. The main thing I don't want with a product like this is to be overwhelmed with ink to where I've got a hard to correct situation, you know? And here I feel like it was totally fine. I'm just going to go over that with a bit of gel. This is just my Maybelline Brow Fast Sculpt. Did this have a little hole in it? Oh, that's odd. I feel like I'm going over the hairs and like they're already kind of holding in place. That's really interesting. I need to look up a little bit more about the formula. I wasn't expecting that. I definitely feel like there is some hold in that as is on its own. It's been a morning of pleasant surprises so far, my friends. I do not have a SHEGLAM eye primer, so we're just going to use Milani for this. We're going to give it a nice level playing field, I guess, with everything I use. I'm really bummed that that concealer wasn't the proper shade, because concealer tends to be such a key product for so many of us, you know. I really would have liked to have reported to you on how that was. Okay, so I have an eyeshadow palette here. This is the Smart Cookie, and it's an all matte neutral palette. And some of you are like, come on now. But some of you are probably really excited about this, and I am too, frankly, because I like all matte, I like neutral, and this could be, you know, this could have the potential to be something amazing and classic, and I do want to look up the price of this for you real quick. This was $7.50. $7.50, you guys, for a 12 shade palette. Keep in mind, you know, we loved the Milani Ungilded Mattes, and what was that? Was that around $20? Okay, keeping that in mind. I'm going to go into Fortune Teller here just to see if maybe this shade turns out to be a little deeper than it looks. Not really. It's about exactly how it looks. Okay, just curious. We're going to go down to Humble Crumble right here. Ooh, okay, there's some pigment. Really looking yellowy. I like the name Humble Crumble. Boom. Okay, mid-tone yellowy warmth in there. Then let's add Churro right here. It's just like that other one, just a little bit deeper. I'll really let it blend up. Let's just keep trekking along that row and go to Brown Sugar. Deeper yet on that warm brown gradient. Oh my gosh, you guys. So on Sundays, I tend to meal prep Bubs meals for the week ahead. Sometimes he does it, like if he's smoking something or grilling something meat-wise, like he'll do extra and put it together for his lunch. But I found this recipe on Pinterest for like a sheet pan sausage and various kinds of vegetables. We had sweet potato, bell peppers, and broccoli, and you just toss that on your pan. Actually, I tossed it in a big bowl with the sliced up sausage, with the olive oil, Italian seasoning, garlic, salt and pepper, and just toss that around, dump it on your sheet pan, bake it at 400 for 20 minutes, and it came out perfect. Like so yummy, and just like roasted vegetables are like the best version of vegetables, I think, and they just turned out so good. And then I made, in addition to that, I just cooked some quinoa, which also couldn't be easier to make, and you just put a dollop of that in there. So good. I'm so excited for him to have his lunches this week. What else am I going to add here before I start doing something to my lid? Let's come down here to Love Chip. Everything just is seeming to make what I did slightly deeper, but it all seems the same tone. Warm brown is the name of the game here. It's fun to play with mattes. I love layering them up, seeing what happens. Now we're going to take Devil's Food, this deep, rich brown here, and we're going to get that on our lid and probably into our crease a little bit too. Nice intensity. So far, I just don't have any complaints about this matte formula, you know? It's going on smoothly. I mean, I have all that experience with the matte ColourPop palette, the Biggie, which really is great because you're getting so many tones. But if you know you really just like the warm browns, I mean, $7.50. So now I've got that brown here. I'm first gonna take my crease brush without anything additionally on it and give myself a little blendy blend here. And then I'm gonna go in with my small pointed brush, same color, the dark brown. Sorry, I get so frustrated with myself when I'm editing and I think I'm holding up a palette where you guys can see, and you can't. But I'm just taking the dark brown and really placing it exactly where I want it, you know? And then we'll use another deep shade to further blend. But I love this really nice fade to warmth. Really been my jam lately. By lately, I mean the last several years. Oh, okay, let's take Coco Loco right here. You wouldn't need to do a look with near this many shades, but you could see in the start we were just kind of playing. You know, we were layering up more shades than we really needed to. But it's fine. Okay, yes. There are so many pretty ways to just kind of come out of this dark, dark shadow and just make it beautifully harmonize with the other warmth that's there. Digging the heck out of this, my friends. I'm gonna take a little bit of Flower Power, this peach right here, picking up with my flat brush. I'm gonna let that be my lid. Just nice lid smoothness. The textures seem just so consistent and even. Your dark shade is just as easy and nice to work with as a lighter shade. The lighter shades can kind of come over top of the darkness and hold their own. I'm now wanting to just go into the lightest shade, Milky Way. Get a little of that like on the tip of my brush. And maybe you can lighten up here just a little bit. It's not showing a ton, but I still feel like the pigment on that is probably just fine. Let me check. Oh yeah, it's good. I'm now gonna do kind of like a two-pronged thing on my lower lash line. I'm gonna use my darkest shadow, Devil's Food, with my smudge brush, which is, you know, not as defined as a, let's say, a small angled brush, but still pretty small. And I'm taking that dark shadow on about the outer half of my lid, lower eyelid, lower lash line. That's the word. Okay, so we're getting that there. And then I can take, honestly, any shade in these bottom two rows. I think I'm gonna do Coco Loco and just use that with my small pointed brush, which is fuller, but still controlled, and let that give me an overall soft lower lash line. Oh my gosh, Wendy's has new fries and they're so good. I mean, we even had these delivered via DoorDash, which sometimes things can take a little longer than expected, and fries will always be the thing that suffers, you know? You get them home and it's like, well, they're not piping hot. These were perfect. Perfectly crisp, perfectly salted, perfect thickness of the French fry. We're talking a little thicker than McDonald's, but more crispness than Burger King. I'm gonna start reviewing French fries. They're so good though, guys. To be honest with you, I hadn't eaten Wendy's in months and months, but I saw a commercial where they're like, we got new guaranteed hot and crispy French fries, and then, well, and their nuggets are so good too. And Biddy's a big nugget kid. She loves her nuggets with ranch. And I don't think the kids have ever had Wendy's nuggets, but I think they're the best nuggets. I think they're even better than McDonald's. But okay, here's the eye look, gang. I think it's great. I think it's just wonderful. If you like matte warm brown, $7.50, my goodness. Smart Cookie palette. Next I have what I believe is a felt tip liner. It's weighty, y'all. The packaging feels heavy, expensive, more so than any other liner pen that I have. And I feel like it's a felt tip and it's very black looking. What I can't really comment on today is the staying power, right? Maybe I should do a wear test with this today. Yeah, I'll do a wear test. It's so black. Relatively speaking, this is going across my lash line easily. Not quite as easy as a brush tip might. Just because it's a very fine point, but it's a little bit stiff. Should we wing it a little bit? Because I think that'll help us really see the staying power. Sometimes wings fade. Juicy as all get out. I think I'm happy with that wing. I think that's about as good as we can do right now. One of the most valuable skills when doing liquid liner is knowing when to stop. When to stop adjusting and messing with the wing. Very black, very even, not watery at all, which can be sometimes the issue you find. with a cheap liner pen is that it goes on and you have to go over it twice to really make it show. That's definitely not the issue here. So we will see how well that wears all day. Since I said I'm going to do a wear test, I'm going to set my timers for that right now. 9 o'clock one, a 2 o'clock one, and a 6 o'clock one. For mascara, I got this Long at Last tubing mascara set. So there's a precision tubing mascara and one called Long at Last Full Flex tubing mascara. Oh, I know. I wanted to try the precision one because it has a funky looking little brush. But both in this set claim to be tubing. I think it's just like maybe you could layer them or you could just use one or the other depending on the look you want. Here's a tube. It's pretty. Yeah. Weird brush. Do you remember that L'Oreal telescopic explosion that was literally just a little ball? It was like a little ball with the fibers coming all out, or the little plastic tips coming out. This is almost like that, but with a brush on the rest of it. So I'm totally using that, and I'll show you what the brush looks like on the other one. This looks more like your Maybelline Sky High, right? Is that what that one looks like? Exactly the same brush. Yep. Okay, so we're gonna curl these lashes. And guys, I'm taking a little break from my Grande Lash Serum, as much as I hate to, because I had that kind of mysterious like redness in the outer corner, which I don't know if I was too rough taking makeup off one night. I know it wasn't pink eye or some kind of bacterial thing, but I had read that you could possibly have red eye if you use too much of that serum and it gets in there. And that kind of scares me a little bit. I don't know. Tell me, in your experience, is that something you've ever noticed? Do I need to be scared of Grande Lash now? Okay. So we've got this stuff with this funky little tip that really, really nicely reaches those inner lashes. That's nice. Then you can use the other side, the whole brush, to just get through everything. It's building a little better than I expected. I thought it was just going to be wet and just kind of slip right through. Very defining. And then that little ball at the end is really, really neat for getting that inner corner. Let's try another coat. I like that. I like it. It's really black. It doesn't seem like anything's clumping together, but if it even starts to, I can use that little nubby tip and take care of it. And since they said this is tubing, this should be something I can trust on my lower lashes too, to not smudge off during the day, so I'm going to apply it there. And the wear test can tell the tale, right? I'm sorry I haven't been doing more wear tests lately. I need to, especially when I'm trying something brand new like this. So much has been good in this video, you guys. I'm really surprised. The foundation I liked, that little innovative powder combo, the liquid blush and bronzer was awesome. This is great for getting in here. This is a really hard place for me to reach usually because of the way I don't switch to my left hand to do this eye, so that is very easily getting those inner lashes. It seems to be drying down quickly, which may bode well for curl holding. Now I guess I'll just use that back side for lower lash a little bit. You better really be tubing. I'm being vulnerable here. Putting it on my lowers. There we go. This one really can't just keep building forever because it does have a dry down to it for sure. Okay, the last thing, I got their take on what seems to be kind of like an Outlast type of lip product, like CoverGirl Outlast or Maybelline Superstay, let's say. I got it in the shade Cute Sickle, and it's this color for the liquid lipstick. So we're gonna put this on, let it dry, and then put the top coat on. Oh no. Well, I don't wear a lot of this shade. Maybe it'll dry down just a little darker. It's so like nude peach. I should have known with a name like Cute Sickle. It's not that bad, I guess. I'm just not used to seeing it on me. We're gonna let that dry down. As it does, we're gonna put on more blush. I love this shade called Love Cake. I wonder what it's like blended in with a beauty blender. Even easier than the brush. I feel like there's a little luminosity in the blush, don't you think? You see a little glow to the cheeks there? I do. Again, not sticky, even, not looking like it broke down everything underneath. The mascara, I kind of wish it did a little more for me, you know, just a little more drama, because I feel like it's now to the point of no return where I probably can't layer more on top. Let's see about this. Okay, is this a gloss? Good texture. Not good though. That was totally set and dry, and some of the color of the lip is coming off on the applicator, which is not ever what we want to see. Like, that's not true Outlast or Superstay formula. If I touch my lips, some color's coming off. That ain't the way it's supposed to be. I'll keep wearing it, but that ain't right. Take the hair down. I did get some layers cut in. I was going to do hot rollers today, but I actually still had some nice kind of wave left over from what I did to my hair yesterday, so I thought we'll just leave it. So full face of SHEGLAM. At this point in time, I say the foundation is a star. The powder duo, total star. Love the liquid blush and bronzer. Also, this eye palette worked great. The mascaras, we're gonna have to see how the staying power goes with this, but they're not terrible. Also, staying power is really gonna make or break how I feel about the eyeliner too. It went on well, it looked juicy and nice, but if it doesn't last, you know, we can't have that. This lip color seems like they just took liquid lipstick and then they put a gloss on, and they didn't really think about whatever the crazy technology is that makes it work for Outlast and Superstay and stuff like that. The primer was just okay for me. It didn't really feel like anything revolutionary. I'm not sure why it's birthday skin, but seems like a fun name. But thank you guys so much for watching. I will visit you again in my check-ins and we'll see how this all goes. Hello, my friends. We're doing a 9 a.m. check-in on the makeup. I feel like the eyes still look great. The face makeup too. I really still look totally matte. Keep in mind this look was set basically all over, you know? So I do expect to have good staying power with this, but I feel like I can still see the blush. The lip color definitely has faded some, but it's still fighting to hang around because I can still see it. Even though it was this soft kind of nudie peach color, I still can see it on the lips. So I would say we're still hanging in there perfectly well at this time. Here's a little 2 o'clock update on the makeup, and I feel like the under eye looks really solid, but I'm seeing a little more wear all over the face just as far as the foundation goes. Like, still evenness, but just maybe a little bit of breakdown. The eye look still looks very much intact, and the lip totally gone by this point. So first off, that was a lighter color, but second off, as I explained in the video, it was not operating the way like a CoverGirl Outlast would. It was 2 formulas combining and one breaking down the other, basically. So yeah, this is the afternoon update, and we'll check in again in the evening. Hi, sweetie. So here is the 6 p.m. makeup update. The makeup has now been on for a little over 12 hours, and I feel like really, all in all, things are looking really good. The skin's still looking even though maybe it seems a little lighter. Like, I know I was resting my hand on my face here today at different times. I caught myself doing it. A little broken down in some areas, but still overall even. The eye look is still there. The lips, I was playing with some different lip colors, so disregard that. We know that that had worn off. And the mascara, by the way, has stayed in place. It's a tubing mascara. There's Bub back there. It's a tubing mascara. It's not supposed to be flaking off at all, and it really has stayed where it's supposed to be. But pretty pleased with this makeup line and the quality, the staying power. Definitely some stuff that I will be wearing again in the future. Hi, Bub. So thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and I will see you again very soon. Love you. Bye.